Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and go live, go over Unicorn Melee 2 Man Eaters Kickstarter. This is live today. Um, and just want to show you guys what the campaign's all about and what we have going on here for the campaign. So let's check it out. So this is the campaign. We've got a number of different tiers, but let's start first with a little video. Uh, if you haven't read the first Unicorn Melee, um, you get a little recap here of what happened in it. But you also don't need to read Unicorn Melee to enjoy the story for Unicorn Melee 2 Man Eaters. Um, but again, doesn't hurt. Most of the tiers are going to have a version of Unicorn Melee 1 and Unicorn Melee 2. So you should be able to get up both, but you can also just watch this video and get a little recap. So we'll watch that. Take a moment and we'll be right back.
Unicorns have existed long before man, in an age of magic. Born from the magic, they tended to the world and kept the balance in the land. At that time, there were many unicorns. The crystal lake was much smaller than it is now, and the floating plains were full of magic. Then many other creatures came and brought a new type of life, but it was good. Then Makaruk appeared. That was his name then. You know him now as the Golem King. Many unicorns fled in terror, sensing his ominous aura, and have never returned. But not all were able to escape. With each horn, he grew not only in size, but in power. He began to hunt unicorns down, seeking the power of their horns.
Wait, we can defeat him now before he gets too powerful.
One unicorn tried to organize an attack, but all had fled. After many hundreds of years, the Golem King had grown powerful, but the last unicorns were able to bind him to the crystal lake. Desperately, they looked for other unicorns to tell them that the threat was over, but they had all gone to the astral planes. Without the unicorns, the magic of the world waned. But worse, the Golem King found a way to expand the crystal lake. It became clear that if he was not destroyed, in time he would engulf the entire land. Summoning all the magic they could muster, the unicorns launched an assault. As they got closer, the minions of the Golem King attacked. No! And when it came to the final assault, only two remained. Closer than ever before, they threw themselves at the Golem King's only weakness.
This is it. Aim for the eye.
But the Golem King was too powerful. At that time, Raimi, a forge wizard, and his apprentice Shad were braving the Crystal Lake collecting magic ore.
You gotta see this.
I'll be damned, discovering the carnage of the attack. and finding that despite its state, this unicorn yet still lived. Raimi and his assistant began the work of making this unicorn whole once more. Using magic ore infused with powerful elements amongst other things, they crafted a suit bound by magic to save the unicorn's life, and even, perhaps, create a stronger life.
Now, can you move?
Never felt better. With his newfound vigor and the help of Raimi, the unicorn sought to finish what had begun all those centuries ago. With new friends and new power, the unicorn charged back into the eye of the monster.
I'm not finished yet.
Finally defeating the Golem King once and for all. With the Golem King destroyed, the horns he had stolen scattered across the land, and now new evils lurk, hoping to harness the horns' power for themselves.
Cool. So that's like a little recap of the story um, for Unicorn Melee Volume 1. And, Unicorn Melee Volume 2 was a new adventure for Rami and Shad. And again, the story, they thought they saved the world, but the unicorns haven't come back, and there are more monsters than ever before. Where did all the unicorns go? Will they ever come back? With the Golem King destroyed, Rami the blacksmith has been touted as a hero. However, it appears that now there are more monsters and they're more powerful now that some have gotten their hands on unicorn horns, the most powerful objects in the world. When Rami receives a request from an old friend for immediate aid, he is thrust into a life and death battle against evil and deception. So, what is Unicorn Melee Man-Eaters? Unicorn Melee Man-Eaters is basically Unicorn Melee 2. Man-Eaters is the follow-up to the hit graphic novel Unicorn Melee. This is a 17 plus age graphic novel. It's an epic fantasy tale complete with knights, kings, monsters, wizards, and of course unicorns. If you haven't read the first one, you can catch up on the Kickstarter. Also, the video for this campaign has a nice little recap, which we just watched. Um, who will enjoy Unicorn Melee Man-Eaters? Well, fans of unicorns, of course, fantasy stories, action, adventure, and unique worlds. If you like stories like The Last Unicorn, Lord of the Rings, or manga like Berserk, Goblin Slayer, then you're going to love this story. And, a lot of inspirations come from those things. A lot of inspiration from things like Lord of the Rings or The Last Unicorn, Berserk. These kind of motifs are throughout the book. So definitely, I feel like you would enjoy it if you like those things as well. As far as the rewards go, um, we can get right into the awards. Obviously, you get Unicorn Melee 2 Man-Eaters, issue 1, which is 22 pages, fantasy adventure. The next chapter, basically the story Unicorn Melee. And all tiers obviously come with a version of that, be it digital or physical. And the other tiers you can also, for most of the tiers, you can get Unicorn Melee 1, the graphic novel that started it all. And that is 80-page graphic novel. So a lot of story to read. So if you get both, you're going to get over 100 pages of comics, which I think is really a great deal. And these are full color comics as well, compared to some of the you know other items you can get for kind of a lot less content. We got these set of 3 prints, which I'm going to go over down here once we get over the characters. Um, Stickers, and obviously we have a nice unicorn poster here, which is a nice poster from the cover of Unicorn Melee Volume 1. The characters, the main character is Ramesh, who is a forge wizard, essentially a blacksmith in this world, and but only he has the ability to infuse weapons and things with magic, and he's the only person that can do it. So his skills and prowess are much coveted throughout the land and beyond. Rami has a lot of friends in a lot of distant lands and places that he's met over the years, through working, and he's a bit uncouth. He's a chain smoker, and you see this little tube up his that goes up his arm. Basically, he smokes here. In here, he puts his what's called pixie dust, which is what he smokes. He smokes, he drinks, but at the end of the day, he means well. Um, then we have his assistant, Shad. Shad is essentially Rami's apprentice, and he works with Rami, and Rami kind of drags him into all his adventures and hijinks. And then we have Jinky, the Unibird, the Unibird that Rami had saved a while back. All uni animals, so any animal with a horn in this world are magic, to a certain extent, and that's no exception for Jinky, the Unibird extraordinaire. And he is a companion of Rami and Shad. Rami saved him, much like you saw in the video. He saved one of the unicorns, and Jenkins kind of been tagging along with them ever since, and really kind of bailing them out a lot of times with his magical abilities. And then just some preview of some pages here. um, most of the dialogues are kind of filler. We'll probably change them up, but just to see the quality of the work that you're going to see here. It's really high quality comic that we're putting together, that I think people are really going to like. And then we can kind of get down into the prints. So the prints, you see, we have these unicorn horns in there, and these creatures are stumbling across them. So we have the troll, and it's a bridge troll who stumbles across a unicorn here. And I think a bridge troll is pretty ubiquitous, so people know what a bridge troll is. But some of these that you might not know. So there's like a Sarabosa, which you see the unicorn here. It sleeps and sleeping upside down. It's kind of like a bat-like, vampire-like creature, from African mythology. And you see the unicorn here that it's stumbling across. So who knows what kind of powers it would get. And then we have the Groot slang, which is like kind of like cross between a man, elephant, snake, and then again another mythological creature from Africa, which is known for stealing diamonds and hoarding diamonds, in an underwater lair. And you can see this underwater lair. He has it's full of gold and jewels, as well as a unicorn horn that's made its way down to the depths of the river. And then the other reward is the poster, with these unicorns. You have the Golem King in the background here, our main unicorn, and a couple of his sidekicks that we saw in the promo video. Um, as far as shipping goes, physical copies we're going to be shipping to the U.S. only for this campaign. So if you're international, sorry, but you can still get the digital. And obviously we'll deliver the digital to anybody. um, and then the project plan, it's right now it's in the mid range of completion. So basically we got about half the pages complete. um, Mostly lettering is what needs to be done, some coloring, and obviously some edits and things like that. But definitely, we should have this book out to you quick once this campaign closes. And we're really excited to deliver it to you. The creative team, we've got Emmanuel Derner on pencils and inks, and he's doing the pencils and inks for Unicorn Melee 2 Man Eaters. We got Demir Rosic, who's done colors on Unconditional Shove and CFBT, and he's the one that's doing all the colors that you see here in these pages. Really nice coloring, really nice pencils and inks. A lot of detail, and just it's just we're really putting a lot of effort into making this the best it can be, making this a really enjoyable read, and also something that you want to hold on to. And then, of course, myself, I have my other titles, ETA, Unicorn Melee, the original, and as well as Power Twins and a manga called KOS Last Bloodline. And I'm excited to bring you this second installment of Unicorn Melee, Unicorn Melee 2 Man Eaters Chapter 1. And there's going to be 6 of these. So, you guys back this campaign, there's going to be 6 chapters. So these are going to be exclusive to Kickstarter, if successful, of course. And so this will be the only place you can get these single issue chapters, because once it's done, we're going to release this as a full blown graphic novel. And it'll only be sold as a graphic novel kind of outside of these Kickstarters. Again, with your backing, and if you guys back this and make it successful. Risk and challenges. Really, the only challenge right now is for this campaign specifically would be if we had any issues with the printer, which is not. Uh, which would be atypical because we generally don't have too many issues with the printer we use. But you also, again, get Unicorn Melee Volume 1, which is done by Brian Golden. The artwork, and again, written and lettered by myself, Madison. And Brian's got a lot of webtoons comics that you can check out: Strawberry Sea Foam, Vampire Magica, Cinder and Charm, as well as some things like Bella the Vampire, and some other items. Like I said, The Genius of Dogs, which is a New York Times bestseller. So you can also get a copy of that. So we'll get right into the words so you can see exactly what you're getting. First thing you're getting, again, with first tier is Man Eaters Chapter 1 digital. And that just gives you Man Eaters Chapter 1's digital. You get the digital catch up, which gives you Unicorn Melee Volume 1. Again, this is, like I said, this is 80 pages and then 22 pages. So you're looking at about 102 pages of comics, the digital catch up. Then we have the Chapter 1 print. Now, with the Chapter 1 print, if you buy the print version, you also get Unicorn. You get both the digital and the print version for this. So basically all the print versions will come with the digital automatically. Then we have the catch up, which gives you the Volume 1 print version, Unicorn Melee Volume 1, as well as Unicorn Melee 2, Man Eaters Chapter 1 print, as well as, again, the digital volumes as well. So definitely this is the tier that I think is probably going to be the most popular to back. And again, we're just launching this today, so we're getting into it. Right now, we've got some digital backers, but definitely looking forward to getting some print backers as well. Um, and then the final version is $50, and you get the digital versions of Unicorn Melee Volume 1, as well as the hard copy of Unicorn Melee Volume 2 Man Eaters, and you get 3 prints, those 3 prints that I showed you, as well as some die cut stickers. Here, these stickers, Unicorn Melee stickers, as well as the poster that I showed you back on the campaign page. So you're going to get with the last tier, you're going to get all 3 of these prints and this poster, as well as these stickers here. So you get all of that just for $50. So definitely want to check that out. And I guess we could kind of get into a little bit of just the campaign itself, and kind of what the inspiration was kind of behind the story, um, and how it all started, which basically started kind of us working with Unicorn Melee. Um, really got inspired by playing Robot Unicorn Attacks and trying to just playing that side scrolling game and thinking about how a unicorn would even kind of get like that. And I'm actually going to share. I don't want to share any spoiler pages, so we're going to go um, a little bit back, and we'll kind of get into the process of making the comics. And I think I'm trying to find a good page to start at. Uh, let's go. Let's go with page 1. Why not? Let me open this up, and then I'll share my screen with you guys. We're going to share the screen here. And so you guys should see this now. So this is page 1 of the comic, and we're in the cusp of lettering this. But again, like I said, this is kind of a medieval style story. I mean, it's its own world, so it's don't hold too tight to the idea of medieval, but it kind of has that feel to it. It's got its own elements. Again, it's a fantasy. There's magic involved in this world. But you can see the kind of town. This is the hometown of Rami and Shad, and you can get a feel for kind of what's happening here. You see this guy. I'm fitting to get absolutely smashed, guy. You know, it's dusk. It's the end of the day. People going to have a drink in the tavern, and we've got these little comments coming by, and we put these kind of small because it's kind of like background noise, but you should still be able to read them in the full print version. Obviously in the digital you can zoom in, but when the full print comes it'll be a little bigger. But you can still read it, but it's just the idea to play, like, when you walk into a bar at first, there's all types of conversations and things going on, so we kind of did it that way. And then of course, the bartender says here, and like I said, I'll zoom in for you guys because you'll be able to do this on the digital version. um, you see the bartender says cutting you off after this one, and then he does a round on the house. um, let's see. Wait a minute. We lost it. Then he does a round on to the man who saved us all. This round is on the house. Basically saying, like, she she's done. But after this, after this free round, they're drinking their pink and green grogs. And of course, Rami here, keep the free drinks coming, because he can drink his fill for sure. But when we're getting into kind of working on this page and lettering, I'm actually going to show you guys some pencils, um, so you guys can see what the contrast is between the two. Let's go. Let's open this here. It's okay. So this is the pencils for the page, and what we get in. Um, Before we start working the colors and doing the lettering, Emmanuel's working hard, putting all these details into it. And one of the things that we wanted to do with the coloring for this page is, for these pages, is, we didn't want to lose all this wonderful detail and time that Emmanuel put into the pencils and inks. So, you see with the coloring, um, you know, not, we're keeping the color palette pretty simple. In contrast to the first issue, which is very bright and vibrant, but there was a lot of space to fill because there wasn't, the panels weren't as detailed. There weren't as much ink and blacks to go over. So then you can kind of carry that with some color. But here we have, if I zoom in, we got all these little details and grass and the panels and the windows, and you don't want to lose any of that. If the artist spent that much time putting it in, to just color over it. So we really took time to keep a light approach to the colors and keep all the little details and the grass and the rocks and everything, and just so the inks and the pencils shine, and in general the details shine, because this is done traditional. So this is done through traditional work. um, you know Pencils, inks, light boards, and then the coloring is digital, obviously, and you can see here the lettering is also digital. But the pencils and inks are done in traditional format, and you don't really want to waste the artist's time and effort. And I'll go and show you guys even page 2. And all these are sample pages on the web page, the final version. But I just want to show you guys some of the inks. And again, you see here we have tremendous detail, really high quality artwork and pages that we're bringing to you guys. That I think this is going to be a really classic story for people, um, once they actually, get to see it in its full and final version, especially the print version, which is why I'm really encouraging people to do the print version of the story. And we'll open up the colors for this. So we got the colors now. And again, really just trying to keep the integrity of the artwork with the colors. And you can see these are just great colors. Nice contrast. Everything stands out. It's pretty clear. We've got Rami and Shad having a conversation. Basically, they save the world, but it's like they save the world, but everybody's just congratulating and treating Rami, and nobody gives a second thought. It's almost like Shad's invisible, so he's like, "Hey, what gives?" You know what I mean? Like I was there too. So they're kind of having this conversation. This is a couple months after Unicorn Melee Volume One, which again you can get um, and most of the tiers, but also you can do the video to get a recap of what happened. But this is kind of what you're gonna get for this story. And I'll probably be doing a couple live streams here and there, going over this Kickstarter throughout the week, going over different pages. I want to kind of get more into the story elements as well. Just going over things like the creation, even talk about some of the inspirations and things that inspired this story. I think, talk a little bit about Berserk and Conan, The Last Unicorn, and those type of things, and even Robot Unicorn Attacks, just to kind of give you guys a deeper dive into this comic. But for now, I'm going to take you guys back to the campaign so that you guys can see exactly what you're getting again. Um, and again, this campaign's live now. We have a goal set for $1,000. It's running for 45 days. Today's the first day, so hop on that and back this campaign. We really appreciate it and really looking forward to getting you guys this comic out. Till next time, peace.